A reimagined reading of Crystal Wishes. While Flap Flap remained on his pillow, that was starting to develop an impression of him on it, Pink Dancer sat in one of the dining chairs to watch this thing make a fresh batch of tea. The worst of the cold seemed to be over. No more fever, much less coughing, and little to no delirium. Though she had taken off the masks, it didn't hurt to keep brewing. He did need to stay hydrated, regardless of how well he was doing. Pink Dancer glanced over and grinned as Flap Flap flipped to the next page of Her Flap Flap Love.
He still doesn't know?
She whispered. This thing just shook her head in response.
When he figures it out, memorize the look on his face and describe it to me later, okay?
This thing shot her a playful glare over her shoulder.
If you're not around when it happens, then it's your loss.
Before Pink Dancer could respond, there was a light knocking at the door.
I'll get it!
Pink Dancer slid off the chair and walked over.
Oh, hey, blue thing!
This thing gasped. Her magic nearly dropped a teacup onto the floor, but managed to land it on the counter.
La la la!
She trotted over and stuck out her hoof to pull the door open wider, hitting her elbow against Pink Dancer's side. Pink Dancer grunted, but got the message, and smiled down at the little blue mare.
Oh, who? Yeah, I mean, hi, you, right?
After a moment of awkward silence, Flap Flap said from behind them,
Hello, blue thing. This is a surprise. Yes.
This thing cleared her throat and stepped to the side, gesturing with one hoof.
Please come in. Blue thing, is it?
Blue thing nodded.
Yeah, sorry to drop by unexpectedly.
She walked inside, with a wrapped package floating just above her head.
I didn't mean to interrupt this, whatever's going on.
As she stepped into the light of the room, a bruise around her eye became more noticeable, and Pink Dancer pointed at it.
Wow, what happened? Did you get in a fight with Sun... Shh!
This thing hissed under her breath. She brought her hind hoof down on one of Pink Dancer's and looked away innocently. Pink Dancer glared at her.
This thing, I swear to Celestia. You're not interrupting at all.
This thing said over her, smiling at Blue Thing.
Come on, Pink Dancer, let's go make something for our guest to eat while she spends some time with Flap Flap.
This thing walked into the kitchen, Pink Dancer lagging behind her to whisper something to Blue Thing before trotting forward.
Honestly, what happened to the mayor who was good at keeping secrets?
Pink Dancer's ears pinned back.
I am! She and I have been spending a lot of time together lately. I forgot that Flap Flap isn't supposed to know that.
She paused, then asked with a frown.
Wait, why can't he know that? Oh, Flap Flap's boy. You have to be Flap Flap.
Oh, Flap Flap's... Fuck! Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. You be Flip Flap 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 from now on. Sorry, Crystal! We're garbage! Oh, it's my turn still. Because we're pretending she never came here.
This thing sighed and started to rummage through the cabinets for something easy to put together.
I wish we had those little cookies still. She really liked those. She gets tons of sweets from my mom. Just put some peanut butter on celery and call that good.
Pink Dancer shrugged, leaning against the counter.
Anyway, I don't think she needs anything.
Her head turned to look over at the two, chatting somewhat awkwardly.
I think she's just here for Flap Flap. I doubt she wants to stay for celery or cookies.
This thing leaned around her to look as well.
Oh, well, then I suppose we'll just stay here and look busy?
There was a pause as they stared at each other. Finally, Pink Dancer broke through the silence with a laugh.
This is so ridiculous. But that's normal for Blue Thing, I think.
This thing tilted her head.
Is she prone to getting herself into odd relationships?
Pink Dancer laughed again, harder this time, and nodded.
You have no idea.
Blue Thing presented Flat Flap a gift, and then he unwrapped it. This thing recognized the packaging right away. She did her best not to sigh. Another one of the Airship Armada figures, as if he didn't have enough of those already. While she and Pink Dancer waited for the conversation to draw to a close, this thing busied herself by wiping down the counters with a lemon vinegar cleaner.
See you later, sir.
Blue Thing's voice rang out as the mayor made a dash for the door.
Bye, Pink Dancer. See you tomorrow.
None of them moved or said a word for a while. Flap Flap just stared at them with one brow raised. After glancing at one another, both of them shuffled their hooves as they walked out into the living room. Flap Flap cleared his throat and shifted his gaze to Pink Dancer. "How do you know Blue Thing?" Pink Dancer dropped down to her haunches to wring her hooves, looking to this thing for help.
Well, it's complicated, actually.
This thing nodded.
Very.
When Pink Dancer glared, she shrugged back at her. This was Pink Dancer's problem now.
So, you see...
Pink Dancer swallowed.
She came into the bakery with her friend this one time.
Flap Flap stared a moment longer, then tilted his head. "Is that so?" "That doesn't sound complicated to me. Almost every pony in Canterlot drops by Sunridge Sweets." Pink Dancer and this thing looked at one another. Their expressions on their faces mirrored. The explanation was that easy?
You're right!
Pink Dancer tried to laugh it off.
It sounded more complicated before I said it. Guess that explains it.
She stood up and started towards her bedroom.
Anyway, I've got practice soon, so I'm gonna do some stretching. Since you're taking up the living room, I'll be in my room.
Flap Flap sighed, grumbling. "Just a few more days, then I'll be out from under both your manes." This thing's ears folded back as she walked over and sat down on the pillow across from his.
It's fine. You shouldn't push yourself. Take the time you need to rest, and then we'll worry about getting you back in armor.
A small smile played across her lips.
I won't lie. I've enjoyed having you here.
"I mean no offense, but..." He raised a hoof and shook his head. "I've not enjoyed being here. Not like this. I mean, I much prefer being here when I'm not sick. We do more entertaining things when I'm healthy." A giggle bubbled up into a soft laugh.
Well then. My line, jackass.
Go for it."
Okay. Well then, that should be good motivation to get proper rest.
She winked.
You can save that pent-up energy for later. You two realize,
Pink Dancer said, sticking her head through the doorway.
that I'm like right here, right? I can hear you.
The white of Flap Flap's face turned red, and his gaze darted away, tufted ears flat against his mane. This thing just giggled again, and reached out to put a hoof on one of his, giving it a reassuring squeeze.
It's all right.
She whispered.
I'll make sure she's not here when you're well again.